Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday AI Made Simple. Grab your drink of choice and let's dive into what's going on in AI news.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know the drill. We take that huge pile of reading you sent us.
Yeah, it was quite a pile this time. A lot happened.
Right. And we boil it down. Find the core intelligence so you basically walk away smarter than anyone else in the room.
And this past month, wow, it wasn't just like a few product updates here and there. Felt different.
No, definitely not incremental.
It felt more like a whole new tech layer just switched on all at once. That week in October 2025, that was it. The turning point, I think.
Exactly. Our sources, they're all pointing to this really tight window. And suddenly AI isn't just, chatbots answering simple questions anymore.
Right. Passive support is kind of old news now.
It's these complex, multi-step agents, and we saw it pop up bang, bang, bang in shopping, in our browsers and desktops, and even in how governments are thinking about regulation, all at the same time.
It's what we're calling the Agentic Era, really. I mean, the game's changed completely. It's not about who has the biggest, baddest language model anymore.
So what is it about then? What's the new competition?
It's about who can actually weave this AI into your daily workflow. Automating all those fiddly multi-step tasks, the ones that take multiple clicks, multiple sites. That's the new battleground.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even start? Commerce seems like a good place. Maybe Amazon.
Yeah, let's start there. Because Amazon is a perfect example. They're running this, dual automation strategy. Very sophisticated.
Dual strategy. Meaning what?
Meaning they're hitting both ends. They're using AI agents to refine the consumer experience, get you to click buy, and also using AI and robotics to fundamentally change how the warehouses operate.
Like a vertical integration, but with AI agents.
Exactly. Removing friction everywhere.
Yeah.
From that moment, you're hesitating between two blenders, right down to how that blender gets picked and packed by a machine.
Okay, let's focus on the shopper first. This new Help Me Decide feature. That sounds interesting. We've all been there, right? Staring at 20 options.
Oh yeah, decision paralysis. It's a huge killer for online sales. People just give up, abandon the cart.
So Amazon's tackling that head on.
Directly.
Yeah.
With this AI consumer decision engine, you click the button. It's apparently quite prominent now, and it's not just showing you specs side by side.
It's doing more.
Much more.
Yeah.
It kicks off this whole selection process that's based entirely on you, your history, your patterns.
How deep does that go? Is it just like my last couple of searches or?
Way beyond that. Think your entire digital footprint on Amazon. Months, maybe years of browsing, searches, actual purchase history, what brands you like, what features you seem to prefer.
Wow.
The goal is to basically give you the confidence to finalize the purchase. It presents a recommendation, but it's backed by all this data only Amazon has about your habits. It feels personalized.
And the sources mentioned transparency is key here. It's not just buy this one.
Exactly. That's crucial for trust, right?
Yeah.
The AI has to explain its reasoning.
So it tells you why?
Yeah, it gives an explicit explanation. This is a good pick for you because, and then it pulls in reasons based on your history. It might highlight features it knows you like, or mention things from customer reviews that align with your priorities.
Like if I always pick Prime shipping, it might point that out.
Precisely. Or if you often buy eco-friendly products, it uses insights from reviews, connects it to your past behavior. Feels less like a sales pitch, more like a helpful assistant who actually knows you.
That's clever. And what if that main recommendation isn't quite right?
They've thought of that too. The page immediately gives you alternatives. An upgrade pick, if you're willing to spend a bit more, and a budget option.
So it anticipates your next thought. Keeps you on the page.
Keeps you in the buying flow, yeah. Stops you wandering off to do more research elsewhere. It's about closing the deal smoothly.
And this builds on their other AI tools, right? Like Rufus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This isn't coming out of nowhere. They already have those shopping guides for category research and Rufus for real-time Q&A, comparisons, checking old orders. Help Me Decide is just the next, more powerful layer. Amazon clearly sees shopping itself as a workflow prime for AI automation.
Okay, so that's the front end, making us buy things more easily. But you mentioned the back end too, the warehouses.
Right. If the front end is about persuasion, the back end is about pure efficiency, getting items out the door with, frankly, fewer human touch points.
And that leads us into the whole labor question, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Oh!
This is the second pillar, warehouse automation. The stated goal, speed up robotics deployment, especially to reduce reliance on temporary workers during those crazy peak seasons like the holidays.
And AI is driving this acceleration, not just powering the robots, but building them faster.
That's the key insight. AI is slashing the development cycle itself, Take the new Blue Jay robotic arms. Amazon Robotics chief technologist Ty Brady, he said AI simulation and prototyping cut the development and deployment time by two-thirds.
Two-thirds down to what?
Just over a year, which for complex robotics like this is incredibly fast.
That is fast. And what do these Blue Jay arms do?
They handle tasks that used to be really tricky for robots. Picking diverse items, sorting them accurately, consolidating orders all at one workstation. Stuff that usually needed human dexterity and judgment. They're testing them now in South Carolina.
And this follows other robots, like Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan came earlier this year. That was the one getting attention for supposedly having a sense of touch. So you see the progression. More sophisticated capabilities, deployed faster.
The pace is just staggering, but it creates this obvious tension, this contradiction around the human workforce.
Huge tension. You have Amazon's official messaging on one side.
What are they saying officially?
Ty Brady, again, quoted, saying these systems are not experiments. They're real tools built for you employees to make your job safer, smarter, and more rewarding. Emphasizing the tool for humans angle. Collaboration. Benefit.
Okay, safer, smarter, more rewarding. But then you read other reports.
Exactly. Then you see the New York Times reporting that this big robotics push could let Amazon avoid hiring something like 160,000 workers over the next 2 years, even while they're expanding.
Avoid hiring 160,000 people. That doesn't quite square with tools to make your job more rewarding, does it?
Not easily, no. It really puts the agentic revolution in stark relief. It's like saying, we're improving things for current employees, while simultaneously engineering a system where vastly fewer new employees are needed, especially for flexible seasonal roles.
So the agents are essentially taking over tasks, or maybe eliminating the need for those tasks, particularly around peak demand flexibility.
That seems to be the strategic outcome, yes. It highlights the core dynamic. Efficiency gains through automation often translate directly into reduced labor requirements, even if the messaging focuses on augmenting existing workers.
And it's not just the picking and packing, is it? Other AI agents are managing the warehouse, too.
That's right. We saw demos of AI managing entire teams, coordinating robot traffic flow, optimizing workflows, and even things like smart glasses for delivery drivers, giving them navigation and instructions.
It's like the automation is wrapping around the entire logistics process, fully agentic.
Giving Amazon unprecedented control and efficiency.
Okay, wow. Here's where it gets really interesting, though, maybe even more fundamental. This push for agents, it's not just optimizing shopping or warehouses, it's becoming this huge battle for the main place we interact with the digital world.
You mean the browser?
Yeah.
And the desktop itself.
Exactly, the digital home base. This is section 2, the war for the interface.
And again, that week in October 2025 was pivotal.
Yeah.
You had OpenAI and Microsoft launching these major aggressive upgrades almost simultaneously. It signals they believe the default starting point for computing is shifting.
From just opening an app or a search bar
to interacting primarily within an AI agent environment. That's the bet they're both making.
So let's compare the browser contenders first. OpenAI's ChatGPT Atlas versus Microsoft's Edge in Copilot mode. They sound similar, but the sources suggest different philosophies.
Fundamentally different, yes. Which means they're likely targeting slightly different users.
Yeah.
Atlas, which launched first on macOS, is positioned as AI first.
AI first meaning?
Meaning the AI isn't just bolted on, it's woven into the core experience. Think of persistent ChatGPT sidebar that's always there, always ready. The AI is meant to be the primary way you navigate and get things done. It's for the user who really wants deep agentic automation above everything else.
And the key agentic feature there is the agent mode preview.
That's the bit that makes it truly agentic, yes. It's not just chat. Agent Mode allows Atlas to tackle complex tasks across multiple websites, like planning a whole trip using info from airline sites, hotel sites, review sites, all orchestrated by the AI.
That's a step beyond just summarizing a page.
Definitely. It's performing actions, chaining steps together. And OpenAI seems aware of the privacy implications.
How so?
They're apparently offering very explicit granular controls over browser memories and data use, letting users limit what context gets saved or used for training. That's a smart move to reassure early adopters worried about giving an AI that much access.
Okay, so that's Atlas, AI native, agentic automation focus, explicit privacy controls. How does Microsoft Edge with Copilot compare?
Edge is positioned differently, more like a full browser with an AI layer added. It's built on Chromium, which is stable and familiar. Copilot features like cross-tab reasoning and Copilot actions or journeys have been rolling out over the past year or so.
So the AI is powerful, but it's augmenting a traditional browser.
Exactly. And Microsoft's strategic advantage lies in integration. Edge connects deeply with Windows and Microsoft 365.
Ah, the enterprise angle.
Absolutely. For large organizations, especially those already in the Microsoft ecosystem, Edge with Copilot is much easier to manage, deploy, and govern from an IT perspective compared to a brand new AI-first browser. Stability, cross-platform compatibility, and enterprise controls are the selling points.
So Atlas for the AI power user, Edge for the stability-focused user or the enterprise deployment. Makes sense.
And speaking of Edge and Copilot, that October update was huge. Like a dozen free updates hitting Windows 10 and 11.
More than just features, though, right? The sources talked about a personality shift.
A fundamental shift, yeah. Microsoft seems to be moving Copilot away from just being a utility tool towards being more of a collaborative partner. Something with, well, personality.
And that's embodied in Miko, the new face.
Eco, yeah. Short for Microsoft Copilot. It's not just the abstract blue logo anymore. It's this customizable, expressive face.
Expressive how?
It apparently reacts to your prompts, tries to match your mood. If you sound frustrated, Miko might look concerned. It's a gamble, trying to create a connection, maybe make people forget Clippy.
Ha, good luck with that. But the bigger deal seems to be this real talk personality model.
That's the really strategic, maybe controversial part.
Yeah.
Real talk is optional, but it's described as personality forward, witty, opinionated,
Opinionated and AI.
and specifically designed to push back, to challenge your assumptions, question your premises.
Whoa. So not just a cheerleader AI that agrees with everybody.
Exactly the opposite. Microsoft is betting that friction, that challenge, can lead to deeper thinking, better outcomes. They want it to be more like a sparring partner, not just an assistant.
That's bold. Is there a risk it just annoys people, pushes back too hard?
That's the risk, absolutely. They acknowledge it will introduce friction, but the bet is that the quality of insight gained from being challenged will be worth it, and that the learnings from real talk will eventually improve the standard Copilot experience for everyone. It elevates the AI's potential role significantly.
From information retriever to critical thinking partner. Interesting. What about collaboration?
They added groups. This lets you invite other people into a Copilot chat, so you can use it for real-time collaborative tasks.
Like brainstorming or planning a trip together.
Exactly. Shared projects. But they built in a key privacy feature.
Which is?
The moment you invite someone else in, Copilot stops accessing your personal memory or context. So your private details stay private during the shared session. You only collaborate on the task at hand.
Smart. And Copilot's own memory is improving too, remembering personal details.
Yeah, it's supposed to get better at remembering things you tell at birthdays, dietary needs, that kind of thing.
Right.
Which ties into another Edge feature called Journeys.
How do journeys work?
They analyze your browsing history more actively. So if you were researching job candidates, for example, and they came back later, Journeys might proactively pull up relevant info, remind you where you left off, help you jump back in.
Turning the browser into more of an active assistant that anticipates your workflow?
That's the idea. Continuous, proactive support.
But maybe the most significant part of that Copilot update, certainly from an ethical standpoint, was around health information.
Hugely significant. Microsoft found that something like 40% of users ask health questions early on. That's a massive number.
Which puts a huge responsibility on them to get it right.
Immense responsibility.
Okay.
So they're tackling it directly. They're committing to grounding health-related answers in verified clinical sources. They specifically mentioned partners like Harvard Health.
So you'll see where the information comes from.
Yes, transparency about the source. And more than that, Copilot will try to connect users with actual clinicians nearby.
Really? Referrals?
Potentially, yeah. And get this, if you choose to share your insurance information, which is a huge if for privacy.
Massive trust hurdle there.
Right. But if you do, it will even try to check if those clinicians are in your network. They're very clear it's not replacing a doctor, but they aim to be a responsible first point of contact, filtering information reliably.
That's a major move towards responsible AI deployment in a sensitive area. Okay, so Microsoft is beefing up the browser. What about OpenAI? Are they content with just the browser?
Not at all. While the browser battle rages, OpenAI made a move towards the native desktop itself. They acquired Software Applications Incorporated.
The makers of Sky, the Mac AI interface.
That's the one. This acquisition is all about getting AI agents out of the browser's sandbox and operating directly on your computer across all your applications.
What's the vision there?
OpenAI explicitly said it accelerates our vision of bringing AI directly into the tools people use every day. Sky basically acts as an AI layer over your entire operating system.
And the demo showed it doing what kinds of tasks?
Real computer-using agent stuff, like reading dinner plans from a text message,
Okay.
then automatically creating a calendar event, then maybe researching nearby bars for after dinner, and finally drafting a reply text with the suggestion, all without the user manually opening the calendar or maps or messages.
Wow, that's true. Cross-app automation. Seamless.
It looks seamless, yes. But there's a catch, a big one, according to the sources.
Permissions, privacy.
Both. To do these generalized desktop actions, Sky needs really extensive permissions, including the ability to constantly view and even record your screen.
Record my screen continuously.
That's what the report suggests is necessary for it to see and interact with arbitrary application interfaces. And that, understandably, set off major alarm bells for privacy and security experts. Giving an AI constant visual access to everything you do on your computer is a profound level of trust.
Yeah, that's a whole other level of data access beyond browser history. Okay, I see. So connecting this back up, we have agents helping us shop, agents managing warehouses, agents fighting for browser dominance, agents trying to live on our desktops.
It's an explosion of agentic capability.
Which requires absolutely massive infrastructure, complex ways to manage all these agents, and serious governance, especially for businesses, right?
Exactly. Which brings us neatly to the enterprise arms race. This is where the big cloud and AI platform players, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, are battling it out. And they have quite different ideas about how to build and control these agent platforms.
And you mentioned something crucial earlier, deployment friction.
Yes, that's a key finding from the sources. Apparently, something like 95% of AI pilots fail to make it into production. 95%.
Wow, that high.
So the thinking is, raw model capability isn't enough anymore. The winner might be whoever actually solves the deployment problem, makes these agents easy and reliable to integrate into real business processes. Reducing that friction is critical.
Okay, that context is vital. So let's look at the three philosophies for building these platforms, starting with OpenAI. Their approach is described as the programmable substrate, aimed at developers.
Precisely. OpenAI is developer first. They want to make it fast and easy to build agents. They consolidated a lot of their tools under the Responses API.
What does that do?
It unifies chat, using tools, managing the agent state or memory, handling different modalities like images, all into one main integration point. It simplifies things dramatically for developers who previously had to juggle multiple APIs. Speed and unification.
And they launched AgentKit in October 2025 to help with standardization.
Right. AgentKit tackles what they call orchestration sprawl, all the custom code developers had to write just to manage agent workflows. AgentKit provides standardized building blocks, evaluation tools, visual designers for agent flows, pre-vetted connectors to other services.
So it reduces the custom plumbing needed, speeds up deployment, hopefully lowers that failure rate.
That's the goal. Less bespoke work, faster time to production. And the engine driving that desktop autonomy we saw with Sky is their computer-using agent CUA model.
Right, CUA. What's the tech behind that?
It's a combination of powerful computer vision, probably based on something like GPT-4o, and reinforcement learning specifically for navigating graphical user interfaces, GUIs.
Meaning it learns how to use software like a human does. Clicking, typing.
Exactly. It learns by trial and error how to deal with buttons that move, redesign login screens, how to generalize actions across different apps, both web and desktop. It gives the agent real control over the mouse and keyboard. OpenAI's message is, we give developers the tightest control and the fastest way to build powerful, autonomous agents.
Okay, developer velocity from OpenAI. Now, Google. Their philosophy is the governed enterprise plane. Sounds more top-down.
Very much so. Google's focus is on centralized policy, control, and integration, especially for large, regulated companies. They position their models, Gemini 2.0 and Astra, as having low latency perception and built-in tool use.
The key is the control layer.
Yes, the strategic piece is Vertex AI Agent Builder. That's their platform on Google Cloud Platform, GCP, for deploying and managing agents. It's where the IT and security teams operate.
And the big launch was Gemini Enterprise.
Right. Gemini Enterprise is framed as the single front door for an organization to manage its entire fleet of AI agents, discovering them, creating them, sharing them, running them securely.
What's the unique selling point there? Governance.
Robust governance, yes, but crucially, governance with cross-suite context. It's designed to manage policies and data access, not just across Google Workspace.
But also Microsoft,
Yeah.
and SAP.
Exactly. Microsoft 365, SharePoint, SAP systems, they're targeting big companies, especially in finance and healthcare, that need strict auditing, centralized control, and visibility across their entire tech stack, regardless of vendor. Google's pitch is all about managed, governed, auditable AI for the enterprise.
Makes sense for their target market. Okay, third philosophy, Anthropic. Theirs is the human-in-the-loop path, focusing on trust.
Trust and safety are paramount for Anthropic. Their approach is more cautious, emphasizing fast iteration with human supervision before aiming for full autonomy. They introduce computer use as a beta capability.
Beta meaning proceed with caution.
Exactly. They're quite open about the potential for errors. So for real-world production use, they favor scenarios where a human reviews or validates the agent's actions, especially initially. Build trust gradually. Verifiable action over blind autonomy.
And their unique feature is artifacts. How has that evolved?
Artifact started as just an inline workspace within Claude, but they extended it significantly. Now it's a tool to actually build, host, and share simple, interactive internal apps directly from the chat interface.
So developers can quickly create small tools for colleagues to use.
Yes, often Copilot style, where the user interacts with the artifact, maybe validates steps. It lowers the barrier to creating useful internal tools without needing a full separate development cycle.
And there was that interesting detail about billing. The end user gets billed for using the artifact, not the creator.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Flips the economics. If the tool you build isn't actually useful, people won't use it because it costs them compute credits or whatever the currency is.
So it forces developers to build things people genuinely need and use.
Yeah.
Instant accountability.
Could be a clever way to combat that 95% pilot failure rate, right? By tying cost directly to utility from the end user's perspective. Focuses development on real friction reduction.
These are really distinct approaches. So if you're a technical team trying to choose between these platforms, you can't just take their marketing claims at face value. Benchmarks become critical.
Absolutely essential. The old days of just comparing LLM scores on leaderboards are over for agentic systems. You need benchmarks that test specific agent capabilities.
Like what? What should teams be using?
For testing how well an agent selects the right tool for a job and sequences multiple tools correctly. Think multi-step planning. The go-to is the Berkeley Function Calling Leaderboard V4 or BFCL V4.
And what does BFCL V4 measure that's relevant to that deployment friction problem?
It specifically tests the agent's ability to choose the correct tool from potentially many options, and critically, whether it can string together a series of actions using different tools without messing up, hallucinating a tool's function, or getting stuck. Agent failures often happen in that complex rating and planning phase, and BFCL V4 highlights those weaknesses.
Okay, that's for tool use. What about the agents that control the GUI, like OpenAI's CUA or Anthropic's computer use?
For those, you need Osworld. It's vital because it tests agents against hundreds, 369, I think, of real desktop tasks, not simplified lab tests.
And what's the key failure point it measures?
It specifically highlights GUI grounding failure. That's when the agent basically gets confused by what it's seeing on the screen. Maybe a button moves slightly or something changed unexpectedly. If the agent can't reliably ground its actions in the visual reality of the interface, it fails. Oswald gives you a hard metric for that crucial capability.
Got it. And finally, for agents doing software engineering tasks, writing code, fixing bugs.
There's SWE Bench Pro, the 2025 version. It significantly ups the difficulty compared to earlier versions, uses more complex, real-world code bases, and is designed to resist contamination, where models might have already seen the test problems during training.
So it's a tougher, more realistic test of coding agents.
Much more realistic. If you want an agent to actually resolve complex issues in your production code, SWE Bench Pro is the kind of rigorous benchmark you need to assess its true capabilities and limitations.
Okay, these benchmarks are crucial. But underlying all of this, OpenAI's developer speed, Google's governance, Anthropic's trust model is the raw compute power. None of it works without massive infrastructure.
And we saw a stark reminder of that scale with the Anthropic and Google Cloud deal.
The TPU deal, tell us about that.
It's enormous. Anthropic secured access to potentially up to 1 million of Google's TPU chips tensor processing units.
1 million. That number is hard to grasp. What's the value?
We're talking tens of billions of dollars worth of specialized AI hardware. It signals the sheer intensity of this compute arms race.
And this capacity is coming online soon.
Scheduled for 2026, they're aiming for well over 1 gigawatt of compute capacity just for Anthropic. It shows how reliant Anthropic is on TPUs for training and running their Claude models efficiently, but it also locks them deeply into Google's ecosystem. It's a massive strategic bet and a massive dependency.
It really underscores that only players with access to this kind of capital and infrastructure can realistically compete at the frontier of the agent space, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Infrastructure is the new competitive moat. The cost of entry, the cost of just keeping up is astronomical. It guarantees this agentic era will likely be dominated by a very small number of extremely well-resourced companies.
So capability is exploding, infrastructure is consolidating. What does all this mean for us, the users, and for society? It feels like the need for rules is becoming urgent.
You got it. While the tech giants battle for platform dominance, governments are scrambling to react to the societal impacts, especially things like deepfakes and misinformation that these powerful generative tools enable.
And India made a significant move on that front.
A major regulatory push, yes. India, being the world's most populous country with over 900 million internet users, is a hugely important market for policy precedents. The Ministry of Information Technology, MedID, proposed new regulations.
What triggered it? What's the main concern?
Deepfakes, primarily. The government explicitly stated that realistic fake audio and video can be weaponized, their word, to spread misinformation, ruin reputations, influence elections, commit fraud. They see it as an immediate serious threat.
So what are the proposed rules? What do they require?
They aim to strengthen the due diligence obligations on the big platforms, think X, Facebook, etc., giving a legal basis to demand clearer labeling of synthetic media, mechanisms for traceability, and overall accountability.
Traceability sounds tricky. How would that even work?
That's the billion-dollar question. It implies platforms need ways to track synthetic content back to its source, the user who created it, or maybe the AI tool used. It shifts the burden onto platforms to police the creation process, not just take down harmful content after the fact. It's technically and politically very challenging.
And they launched a government portal to help enforce this.
Yes, a portal called Saihog, which means cooperate. It's designed to streamline how the government issues notices and take down orders to these platforms, a faster enforcement mechanism.
And it's significant that the big AI players, OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity, are all setting up shop or expanding in India right now.
Hugely significant. It shows India's market importance, but it also means these global AI companies will have to comply with whatever regulations India finalizes. If India mandates traceability, that could easily become a de facto global standard these companies have to implement everywhere.
A major policy development to watch.
Okay, shifting from government regulation back to the consumer side one last time, AI agents are also showing up in our social media feeds, specifically Instagram stories.
Yeah, a lighter note perhaps, but still part of the trend. Instagram rolled out AI features within stories to make creative editing easier and faster.
Not complex automation, but creative assistance. Exactly. Low-friction creative agency. You can use simple text prompts right in the story editing menu, tap the brush icon, type what you want.
What kinds of things can it do?
The sources mentioned a restyle feature and preset effects. So you could type, change my hair to pink, or remove the lamppost in the background, or add video effects like make it snow, or add themes for holidays like Diwali or Christmas.
Making advanced editing accessible without needing separate apps.
Democratizing creative effects, basically. And Meta was careful about the data usage aspect here.
How so?
You have to accept specific AI terms of service. They state that some media data might be used to improve their AI models, but they assure users it's for technical improvement only, and privacy will be protected within that scope. They know they have to be clearer now.
Right. Wow, what a whirlwind. Just that 1 week in October seems to have set so much in motion. If we try to synthesize this deep dive, the core theme is inescapable. The AI agent is the new battleground.
It really is. And the fight's happening everywhere at once. Helping you choose a product on Amazon, optimizing Amazon's warehouse logistics, potentially displacing labor.
Vying for control of your browser with Atlas versus Copilot. Trying to become a personality like Miko, or even challenge you with Real Talk, moving onto the desktop with Sky.
While the big platforms like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic offer these fundamentally different ways for businesses to build and manage agents, the programmable substrate, the governed plane, the human-in-the-loop path.
Underpinned by that massive compute arms race and the sobering reality of deployment friction, that 95% failure rate for pilots is a critical counterpoint.
Absolutely. The sources rightly concluded that success might not just be about having the best model. It might be about who solves the practicality problem, making agents reliable, manageable, easy to integrate. Solving the friction might be the real key to winning the agentic era.
That focus on practicality is crucial. Okay, final thought. Let's loop back to Microsoft's Real Talk. This idea of an AI designed not just to obey, but to push back, to challenge us. As these agents get woven deeper into everything we do, from simple tasks to complex decisions, maybe we need to rethink how we measure their value.
What are you suggesting?
Well, should we measure an AI's worth only by how efficiently it answers our questions and does what we ask? Or as they become more capable, should we also start valuing how effectively they question us, how well they make us think?
A provocative question indeed. Something for all of you to mull over as you inevitably start interacting more and more with these increasingly powerful and perhaps challenging AI agents in your own lives.
Thanks for sticking with me through this whirlwind tour. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next time on Everyday AI Made Simple.